Hello everyone, this is John Galt speaking, here with a live stream to talk about this template called Multiplayer First Person Basic, MP First Person Basic. This is the template that I was talking about in previous videos that I was going to be submitting to the UE4 marketplace for $19.99. Tentatively $19.99. So I haven't submitted it yet, but it's pretty close to being done. So I thought that I would talk about all the features in this video. So this is kind of an overview video of what this template's actually going to come with. So it's going to be supporting engine version 4.15 all the way to 4.24. So I have a packaged build here, as I do with all my demos for the marketplace. So we're going to launch this thing up and we'll talk about all the features. So it comes with a little basic menu where you can choose to go into single player or multiplayer or quick game. Single player, we'll go ahead and bounce in here. It'll still let you pick your team and all that stuff. The biggest thing here is that no one will be able to join you, right? Nobody will be able to join you when you're in single player. Your listen server will not be searchable. You can't find it. But I put this in here just in case anybody wanted to ever just come in here to test without having the possibility of other players being able to join you. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the main menu. So multiplayer, when you click this, you have the option of hosting a game or finding games. So in this instance here, we're just going to host the game. Then a little server settings menu comes up that gives you the ability to pick which map. I included 2 test maps in this project. You could pick which one you want to start on. You can also set your players. Now, if you set this to just be 1, I believe it's probably going to have the same result as if you just went into single player. You're not going to have anyone be able to find your server or join it. And you can go all the way up to 10 players. And then you also can designate how long the match timer is going to be. And then you just click host game. Then you're presented with your team selection screen. So you can pick red team, blue team, or go straight into the lobby, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put this guy on red team. And I don't have all the instructions typed up just yet because this actually has a lot more instructions than most of my templates. So I'll be making those before this is actually put onto the marketplace. So this is a first-person template, right? So you are in first-person view. But when you look down, you can see your lower torso, right? You can't switch to third, right? So this is a true, a dedicated first person view. One thing that I want to point out here before we go any further, this is not done by just putting a camera on the head of a third person character. This project here is set up with 3 meshes and 2 animation blueprints. So there is a set of arms, a lower torso only, and a full body mesh is what this project is actually made up with. So this is done the more professional way that you find in most first-person games. A lot of people like to just stick a camera on the head of a character, and really that just gives a bunch of janky results that I don't like. So this is actually done with 3 separate meshes. Okay. All right. And so I guess we'll just talk a little bit about the character first. So you have a automatic hit scan weapon, right? So this is a auto fire hit scan weapon. You squeeze the trigger and it just shoots. And then you can press the Q button and cycle to your secondary weapon, which is actually a launcher. This is a projectile-based weapon, so this actually fires a explosive projectile with AoE damage. Another thing that I'd like to point out here is that I also included projectile inheritance on the projectile. So what that means is if you watch the crosshair, a lot of, you know, shooter templates, they don't do this, and it makes the projectile lag really far behind where your crosshair is. So when I shoot this gun, watch where the crosshair is versus where the projectile hits. And it also has reload, right? So you do have to reload your weaponry. Okay, and then we can cycle back to this weapon. So that's it. That's what the weapons are. You have a hit scan weapon, auto fire weapon, and a projectile based AoE weapon. And just keep in mind, guys, this is FPS basic, right? So this ain't meant to be, you know, a ready-made game. This is meant to be a very good demonstration of how you could set up a first-person, team-based first-person game. So this is teams, right? So there are teams implemented in here. The last thing to mention about the weapon is if you look in the lower left-hand corner, it actually tells you what weapon is in your hand, right? So when you cycle your weapon, it does tell you what's in your hand. And it also shows you the max ammo the weapon can carry, plus what's currently in the magazine of the weapon, the clip. So as I'm shooting this gun, of course, when you have no ammo, you can't shoot, and then you press the R key to do your reload, and that will take however many you need in your clip from your max ammo and put it, refresh the magazine of your weapon. And this one too. So this actually reloads that way. Okay, and that's essentially the weapons. You also have the ability to force respawn. So if you hit your Z key, you will kill yourself. You will then respawn at a random spawn point for the team you happen to be on, which is what these are. I guess we should talk a little bit about these pickups. So these pickups are actually team-based. And so what that means is the blue team can't pick up these pickups here because these are designated to be the red team only. So when I was building this template, I was making some videos showing what I was doing. And this was actually something that was requested by some of the viewers. We also do have map travel and a match ended screen. So I'm going to give it a second here so that it'll cycle me over to the next map. And we'll start back where we left off. Okay, so once again, these pickups are designated for the team, and that was a feature request. So if you don't need any health, ammo, or any of that stuff, of course, walking over these pickups does absolutely nothing. There is also two types of ammo, right? So this weapon here actually uses just bullets, bullet ammo. So if I shoot up some of this ammo, you see that this one here is actually explosive ammo. So I can't pick this ammo up and put it in this gun, right? So I actually have to pick the bullets up, and you'll see my max ammo increase. And then of course the pickup goes away, and then after a duration, it will respawn and come back right where it was originally. And then also the this weapon is the same way, right? So if I run over these bullets, it ain't going to give me anything because this is a explosive weapon. So you actually have to pick up the explosive ammo. And regardless of which weapon's in your hand, if you need ammo, let me get this switched over here. So regardless of which weapon you have in your hand, it will put it, if your max ammo is below what's specified, it will give you the ammo, right? So see, I don't have that launcher in my hand, but yet I do need some launcher ammo. See, I've shot up some of it. So when I run over this pickup, it will give it to me. And then if I'm on this weapon and I need bullets, which I do, it will actually give it to me. There is no self-damage in here, so I can't blow myself up. And that's pretty much what these pickups are. Now, these pickups, too, once again, guys, this is just kind of an overview, but I usually get stuck in the mud talking about more of the minute details than I probably should in these overview videos. But everything in this project is built with master and child blueprints. So all these pickups that are here on the ground originate from a single master blueprint, a single master pickup. And then in that, you can designate what kind of pickup it is. So you can tinker around with some settings in the class defaults and make it be an ammo pickup or a health pickup or an explosive pickup or a bullet pickup. There'll be videos made after this product gets on the marketplace to actually show you guys the manipulation of this template. In other words, how to use it, what all these little minute details are. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about are these smoky, foggy volumes here. So these are something that I put in here just to demonstrate team-based overtime damage and overtime health. So if you happen to get on one of these blue pads that have this red fog coming off of it, if you will, it actually damages over time. So you can see that it's popping up all these minus signs, and it's damaging me over time. And then, of course, if I get off of it, it quits. And once again, this is just something where you could do team-based damage over time if you want. Now, this is a heal overtime volume, so essentially exactly the opposite of what that does, except it's team-based, right? So since I'm on the red team, you see my red arms here, if I get on this heal overtime volume, this is for the blue team, so naturally it's not going to do anything. I actually have to come over here to my heal overtime volume, and then when I stand on this, you'll see that it's playing plus signs instead of minuses, and it's giving me health overtime instead of taking it away. A couple other things that I forgot about the character. You do have jump, right? So you can jump in this. And also you have sprint, right? So if you hold down left shift, you can sprint, but you can only sprint forward, forward left, and forward right. If you try to go straight to the right, it just kicks you out of sprint. And also if you stop, it kicks you out of sprint. So you can only sprint forward, forward left, and forward right. If you try to go left, right, backward, back left, or back right, it just kicks you out of sprint. And that's basically just the way that I designed this, and that's generally how most games do it too. So there's that. So that's an explanation of these volumes. Just something in here to demonstrate damage over time and healing over time in a team-based situation. And once again, the match ended in a tie. There is no way to score in this template. That's something that'll be in the advanced version of this template whenever I get around to getting it done. Which is going to be a very long time, by the way. So it takes quite some time to get this stuff on the UE4 marketplace anyway. So it's going to take a hot minute before there ever will be a pro version of this, an advanced version, if you will. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is these auto turrets. So I do have some auto turrets set up in this project that are also team-based. You know, if I come over here, it can't see you behind walls, of course, that would be kind of derpy. But if I peek around this corner here, this auto turret should start shooting at me. It does pivot and it does track you. And then, of course, if you get behind a wall, it will quit shooting at you and lose track of you. So they're pretty smart, right? I mean, they're not using AI, they're using manual AI, if you will. So they're not the smartest turrets in the world. They do have pretty good accuracy. It is projectile based, right? So it's actually shooting projectiles out of it. And really the logic is that it knows about all the players that are around the turret, and it will pick the closest enemy to it to actually shoot at. So that's about as smart as I could make it. But it does track up, it pitches up, and it will pitch down, and it does track you Just keep in mind that it will only shoot at the player on the opposite team of the turret that is closest to it. So in other words, if there's 4 players around that turret that are all on the opposite team, it's only going to shoot at whichever one happens to be the closest to it. And then it will cycle as the players move around. So if one's close, it starts shooting at him. If he gets out of range and another one happens to be closer, it'll quit shooting at the original one and start tracking and shooting at the other. It's kind of hard to demonstrate that in this environment of me showing you guys this. But that's essentially how it works. These turrets actually came out of the Paragon assets that are free from Epic. I just modified them, right? So I tore them apart. I converted them from skeletal mesh to static mesh. They're not any animations with these turrets. Everything is done manually, but the actual turret models themselves, that's where they came from. They came out of that Paragon game. The Paragon assets, let me say that differently. Okay, and the final thing is this little lobby area. So if I switch teams here, I can actually go into the lobby. Basically, this is just a little area where players can congregate. I mean, this is not a traditional lobby. Like, you don't come in here waiting for players to connect and then go queue up the mission. That's not what this is. This is just a little area that I put in here that's kind of a neutral zone. So you can still shoot your guns and stuff when you're in here, but nobody that's in here can be hurt by you. You know, as long as you make it where the red team and the blue team can't get in here, right? The idea of this thing is to be like stadium stands. You build an underground bunker that the only way you can get in or out of it is by using the menu, this menu. And then that way, everybody that's in here is on the lobby, quote unquote, lobby team, so they can't hurt each other, right? Because there's no team damage. And really that, you know, you could modify this into something else if you chose to. But that's basically what it was meant for. It's just a little area you can hide under your map or put up in the sky and just let players that are not really wanting to play the game, they can go in there and dick around or whatever. And you can switch teams live, right? So if I'm on the blue team and I'm like, I want to go red, I go to the red team. It will kill you off your current team and then spawn you on the team that you chose. Another thing is, you know, these menus. See, guys, these are a lot like all my other templates, right? Like my simple capture the flag and the teams and class select. They're all based around the same scripting and the same construction. So a lot of this is a bit redundant to keep talking about it, but you have an in-game menu that the server has the ability to cycle the map in real time if he chooses to. And he can also change the timer. Right, he can change the time limit if he wants to. Okay, and now we are back on map 2. Also, the way that timer works is there's no way to score in here. The logic is set up for you to add scoring, right? You just have to come up with your own way that you're going to administer the scoring. Is it by getting kills or picking up coins or capturing flags? But the actual way to score is already in here. So the way that this timer works, and the score for that matter, if you guys implement it, is that when the timer hits 0, it will look at the scores and see which ones have the highest score, and whoever has the high score wins, and it designates them as the winner, red team or blue team, or if it's equal, it'll just pop up and say that it was a tie. Yeah, so it does have the ability to set up scoring. You just have to come up with your own way to score, whatever it is you want to do to add the score. All you have to do is call the logic inside the game instance. There's a custom event in there called add score, and it will look at the team that did it, and then it will add the score to that team. There is a player list in here, right? So if you hit the P key, it will pop up and show you all the players that are connected to your server. And it separates them by what team they're on. So red team shows up in the red column, blue team shows up in the blue column, and anybody that's in the lobby will be in the purple column. These are on a toggle, so if you hit P, you can toggle them on and off. If you have this one open and hit tab, it closes this one and opens the lobby. If you have this one open and you press P, it opens back up the player list. Okay, and so I think that's about it, right? So it's a template meant to, you guys can build right on top of this too, by the way. You know, you can start adding more functionality to it. This is meant to be a basic template. So it's not meant to have scoring and, you know, putting in game settings and all that stuff. It's a starting point. It's a demonstration of how I went about implementing teams, how I went about creating these auto turrets, these damage overtime volumes, these team-oriented pickups, and how I set this first-person view up using arms, a lower torso, and a full body mesh. So that's what it is. And like I said, this is probably going to be $19.99 whenever it does get onto the marketplace. And that's going to probably take a while. I'm not quite ready to submit it just yet, but I did want to go ahead and make this video talking about the features. There are no more features planned for this version of this template. So the only thing I've got left to do is squish any bugs I find, make sure everything's commented and named correctly, and all that stuff. But there's not going to be any more mechanics added to this. And so there you have it, right? And like I said, there'll be videos. Well, all my templates actually need videos made demonstrating how to, you know, go in there and manipulate the templates. Like, you know, I have to be careful when I do that because these are meant to be bought. And if I show too much of the guts of these things, well, then that kind of defeats the point, right? You don't need to buy the template. You can just watch the video and pause it and take screenshots of what I did and how I did it. But there will be videos that, you know, showing how to, you know, take that master pickup as an example and generate these 3 different variants of pickups from that one, how to pull in the auto turret, put it in your map and get it set up for the team you want. The volumes will be the same way, show you how to bring them in and set them up and get them working and all that stuff. It's pretty easy to do, really. You just do it from the level, actually. I guess the final thing I need to do here is actually connect a client to this to show you guys the other side of this menu. So you click multiplayer. This time around, you go the find games route, and you click find games. It does a little search here, and then it'll pop a box up here with the name of the server in it, and you just click it, and then you get the team select, and I'll put this guy on the blue team, and voila, there you go. There's the red team dude. So his mesh displays in red, and the blue team's meshes display in blue, along with the player starts and the pickup lights and, you know, the platforms that the turrets are on, right? And map travel does bring everyone connected. So it brings the server and everyone connected to the new map. And, you know, so he's on the bad guy's side. So his name and health bar is displayed in red. And then when he looks at me, I'm a bad guy, so my name and health is displayed in red. And if we end up on the same team, so I'll put this guy on the blue team, it's the same thing. It's just that the tag is no longer displayed in red. It's actually green to show that he's actually a friendly. There is no friendly fire in here. I didn't put that in, so you can't shoot your own team. And let me go ahead and switch him back over to blue team, and I'll kill him, right? So I'll shoot him and show you how the respawn works. And goodbye, right? So it's got ragdoll in it. There's a respawn timer that you can change, and then it just respawns him at a random spawn point that is designated for his team. And so that's it, guys, right? So you guys, if you're impatient and you want to buy this before it ends up on the UE4 marketplace, which could take up to 2 or 3 months, right? After you get it submitted, it does actually take quite an amount of time for it to trickle through their review process. And, you know, there's a bit of back and forth. Epic submits back some changes they would like to see made. Then I have to send it again and they look at it again. So that whole process generally takes, you know, quite some time. But if you're impatient and you don't want to wait, you can purchase this template directly from me via PayPal. But once it does end up on the marketplace, you know, you will not get some kind of code or something to get it from the marketplace. They're two separate entities. So if you buy it from me, you have to get it from me, and all future updates, if there are any to this template, you will have to get them from me, or you wait it out until it actually shows up on the UE4 marketplace, and then you get it from there. And if I do any updates, it'll automatically update it in your library, in your launcher. I will tell you guys this. So the planned price for this product is $19.99. If you guys buy it directly from me before it shows up on the marketplace, I will cut you guys a $10 discount. So it's going to be $19.99 on the marketplace. If you guys buy it directly from me, it's $10, right? So I'll cut you guys a $10 price reduction to, you know, get it ahead of time. All right. And so with that, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This template is something that I've had in the works for quite some time. But, you know, since I redid the products I currently have on the marketplace with a new menu system and stuff, I had to basically come back into this project and do a significant amount of work, because I want all three of these products to conform, so that if you buy any of them, if you choose to buy another one, you'll already have a good understanding of how this one works, right? How it's put together, because they all basically originated from the very same project. That's why the menus are the same, except for where it needed to be different, and all that stuff. So I think that's better overall to make all these things conform. That way, you know, if you buy one product, you can buy another, and you'll already kind of know how I script and how I made it, how I make all these things talk and work together. So with that, you guys take care. This is John Galt, and we will see you guys in another video in another time.